4,500 years ago, on the edge of the Egyptian desert, something extraordinary rose from the sand, a structure so massive, so precise, that even today it challenges everything we think we know about the ancient world. The Great Pyramid of Giza. For centuries, travelers, historians, and explorers have stood before this monument asking the same question: how was it built? But perhaps the more important question is something else entirely. Why? Around 2560 BCE, during the reign of Pharaoh Khufu, thousands of workers gathered on the Giza plateau to construct what would become the largest stone structure ever built by human hands. More than 2 million limestone blocks, each weighing several tons, were carefully placed one by one. Some of the granite stones used inside the pyramid weighed over 50 tons and were transported hundreds of kilometers from the south, and yet the entire structure was completed in just a few decades. This was not chaos, and it was not primitive labor. It was organization, planning, and engineering. Entire communities supported the workforce. Bakeries produced bread, breweries made beer, and workers lived near the construction site. This was a national project, a monumental effort that required precision and discipline. But the size of the pyramid is only part of the mystery. Its alignment is even more astonishing. The four sides of the pyramid point almost perfectly toward the cardinal directions: north, south, east, and west. The margin of error is incredibly small, smaller than what many modern constructions achieve today. How did ancient builders accomplish this? Without compasses, without modern instruments. Some researchers believe they used the stars. By carefully observing celestial movements in the night sky, ancient astronomers may have determined true north using the positions of circumpolar stars. If this is true, then the pyramid was not only connected to the earth, it was connected to the sky. For the ancient Egyptians, death was not the end of existence. It was a transformation. The soul of the king was believed to ascend to the heavens and join the eternal stars. In that sense, the pyramid may have been more than a tomb. It may have been a gateway. Originally, the pyramid was covered in smooth white limestone casing stones. Under the Egyptian sun, its polished surface would have reflected light across the desert, shining like a gigantic mirror. Imagine approaching Giza thousands of years ago, the pyramid rising above the horizon, glowing with reflected sunlight, a perfect geometric mountain built by human hands. Today, much of that outer casing is gone, stripped away by time and earthquakes, but the core structure remains, silent and immovable, guarding its secrets. Inside the pyramid, narrow passages lead into darkness. A descending corridor cuts deep into the bedrock beneath the structure and leads to an unfinished subterranean chamber. Rough walls, incomplete construction. Why was this chamber abandoned? Was it part of an earlier plan, or intentionally left unfinished? Hidden behind limestone blocks lies another passage rising upward into the pyramid. For centuries, this ascending passage remained concealed until explorers finally revealed one of the most extraordinary spaces inside the monument, the Grand Gallery. Nearly 9 meters high and more than 40 meters long, the Grand Gallery rises steeply toward the center of the pyramid. Its walls narrow upward in precise steps, forming a towering stone corridor unlike anything else from the ancient world. At the top of the gallery lies the king's chamber, constructed entirely from massive blocks of red granite. In the center stands a heavy granite sarcophagus, simple silent and completely empty. No golden treasures, no royal mummy, no inscriptions, just an empty stone box resting in darkness. For generations, historians have debated this mystery. If this truly was the burial chamber of Pharaoh Khufu, where is the body? Many believe the tomb was looted in ancient times, yet even looted tombs usually leave traces, fragments of burial goods, broken artifacts, something. Inside the Great Pyramid, there is almost nothing. The chamber feels strangely bare, almost as if the real story lies somewhere else. Lower inside the pyramid lies another room known as the Queen's Chamber. Despite its name, no queen was buried there. Two narrow shafts extend upward from the chamber. For years, they were believed to be ventilation shafts, but they do not reach the outside. Instead, they stop, sealed deep within the structure. In the 1990s, a small robotic explorer was sent into one of these shafts and discovered something unexpected. A tiny stone door fitted with copper handles. Behind it, another cavity, and beyond that, another sealed door. Why would the builders place doors inside such narrow shafts? The deeper researchers look into the pyramid, the stranger the questions become. For a long time, scholars believed every chamber inside the Great Pyramid had already been discovered. But in 2017, modern technology revealed something astonishing. Scientists began scanning the pyramid using cosmic particles called muons, tiny particles from deep space that constantly pass through matter. By measuring how these particles travel through stone, researchers can detect hidden spaces inside massive structures. What they discovered shocked the world. Above the Grand Gallery, hidden deep within the pyramid, was a massive void, a space roughly 30 meters long, large enough to hold an airplane fuselage, hidden for more than 4,000 years. No entrance has been found, no corridor leads to it, and no one has ever entered it. It simply exists, suspended above one of the most important corridors in the pyramid. Was it part of the structure, an engineering feature designed to relieve pressure, or something else entirely? The Great Pyramid has stood on the Giza Plateau for nearly 4,500 years. Empires have risen and fallen, civilizations have changed, and yet this ancient monument still challenges our understanding. Even today, with all our technology, the pyramid continues to guard its secrets. Somewhere above the Grand Gallery, a mysterious space remains hidden in darkness, untouched, unexplored, waiting, and perhaps guarding a secret sealed for 4,500 years. In 2017, something extraordinary happened inside the Great Pyramid of Giza. For centuries, researchers believed the pyramid had already revealed all of its internal chambers. Every corridor had been mapped, every room documented, every passage explored. But modern technology was about to prove that assumption wrong. Instead of digging through stone, scientists decided to look inside the pyramid using a completely different method. They used particles from deep space. Every second, tiny particles known as muons pass through the Earth. These particles are created when cosmic rays collide with atoms in the upper atmosphere. Most of them pass harmlessly through rock, mountains, and even ancient monuments. But the way these particles move can reveal something remarkable. When muons pass through solid stone, fewer of them reach the detectors. When they pass through empty space, many more appear. By measuring this difference, scientists can detect hidden cavities inside massive structures. Inside the Great Pyramid, researchers placed highly sensitive muon detectors and waited. Slowly, over many months, the data began to build. Millions of cosmic particles passed through the pyramid's enormous stone body. Computers analyzed their paths, measuring tiny differences in density within the structure. Then, something unexpected appeared in the results. Above the Grand Gallery, hidden deep inside the pyramid, there was a massive void, not a small crack in the stone, not a narrow passage, but a huge empty space nearly 30 meters long, a space large enough to contain a bus, perhaps even the fuselage of an airplane. And the most surprising part was this: no known corridor led to it. No entrance had ever been discovered. For more than 4,500 years, this space had remained completely hidden. The discovery immediately sparked debate among historians and engineers. Some researchers believe the void may simply be part of the pyramid's internal structure. Massive stone monuments create enormous pressure inside their walls. In many ancient buildings, architects designed empty chambers to reduce the weight pressing on important corridors below. Inside the Great Pyramid itself, several relieving chambers exist above the king's chamber to distribute the weight of the stone above. Perhaps this newly discovered void serves a similar purpose, but there is a problem with that explanation. The known relieving chambers inside the pyramid are relatively small and flat. They were clearly designed to distribute weight in a very specific way. The newly discovered void, however, is far larger and shaped differently. Its form appears similar to the Grand Gallery itself, long and sloping. If it was simply an engineering feature, why would it be so large? This question has led some researchers to consider another possibility. What if the void is not just a structural space, but a hidden chamber? The ancient Egyptians were masters of architectural deception. In many tombs across Egypt, builders constructed false chambers and misleading passages to confuse tomb robbers. While intruders searched the obvious rooms, the real burial chamber was hidden deeper within the structure. Could the same strategy have been used here on a much larger scale? Inside the Great Pyramid, the king's chamber contains a granite sarcophagus that has puzzled historians for centuries. The box is large, heavy, and completely empty. No royal mummy has ever been found inside the pyramid. No treasures, no burial artifacts, nothing that clearly confirms this was Khufu's final resting place. If the pyramid truly served as the king's tomb, where is the body? Some historians argue that ancient thieves stole everything long ago, yet even looted tombs usually leave traces behind. Fragments of gold, broken containers, pieces of burial equipment. The Great Pyramid feels strangely different. The chamber is almost silent, almost symbolic, as if the true story of Khufu's burial lies somewhere else. This is why the discovery of the hidden void has captured the imagination of researchers around the world. A sealed space, large enough to be a chamber, hidden above one of the pyramid's most important corridors. Could this space hold another passage? Could it contain an undiscovered room? Or perhaps something far more significant? For now, no one knows. The void has been detected with remarkable certainty, confirmed by multiple scientific scans, but the inside of that space remains completely unknown. No camera has entered it. No explorer has seen its walls. No one can say what lies inside. The Great Pyramid continues to hold its silence, and somewhere above the Grand Gallery, beyond the reach of human eyes, A hidden space remains suspended in darkness, a space that has waited untouched for more than 4,500 years. Whether it is merely an architectural feature or the entrance to a deeper secret remains one of the greatest mysteries of the ancient world, and the question still echoes through the stone corridors of the pyramid. What is hidden inside that chamber? For centuries, people have searched for the secret of the Great Pyramid of Giza. Kings, explorers, historians, and scientists have all stood before this enormous monument, hoping to uncover the truth hidden inside its stone walls. Many believed the pyramid was simply a tomb, a final resting place for Pharaoh Khufu. But the deeper researchers looked into the structure, the more unusual the story became, because one strange fact remains: Khufu's body has never been found. Inside the pyramid, in the chamber believed to belong to the king, a massive granite sarcophagus rests in silence, heavy, ancient, and completely empty. No royal mummy was ever discovered inside it, no golden treasures, no burial equipment, no inscriptions describing the king's journey to the afterlife, just a silent stone box, deep inside the largest pyramid ever built. For centuries, this mystery has puzzled historians. If the Great Pyramid was truly Khufu's tomb, where is the body? Some believe the pyramid was robbed long ago by ancient thieves, but even the most thoroughly looted tombs usually leave something behind: fragments of artifacts, broken containers, traces of burial equipment. Inside the Great Pyramid, there is almost nothing. The chamber feels strangely incomplete, almost as if the real story lies somewhere else. This question has led some historians to consider a different possibility. What if the king's chamber was never meant to be the true burial chamber at all? What if the empty sarcophagus was simply a decoy, placed there to distract tomb robbers? Ancient Egyptian builders were masters of deception. Many royal tombs were designed with false corridors, hidden doors, and misleading chambers meant to confuse intruders. While thieves searched the obvious rooms, the real burial chamber remained hidden deep within the structure. If such techniques were used in smaller tombs, imagine how carefully they could have been used inside the largest pyramid ever constructed. This idea became even more intriguing after the modern discovery inside the pyramid: the massive hidden void above the Grand Gallery, a space nearly 30 meters long, sealed within the stone body of the pyramid, a space with no known entrance and no visible passage leading to it. For more than 4,500 years, this chamber has remained hidden. Some researchers believe it may simply be part of the pyramid's internal structure, but others cannot ignore the possibility that it might be something more. What if this space is not just an empty cavity? What if it is a chamber deliberately sealed by the builders? And if that is true, what could be inside it? Perhaps another corridor leading deeper into the pyramid. Perhaps a hidden chamber, untouched since the age of Khufu. Or perhaps something even more extraordinary. Because if the real burial chamber of the king was intentionally hidden, it would explain one of the greatest mysteries of the pyramid: the empty sarcophagus, the missing mummy, the silence inside the king's chamber. For now, these questions remain unanswered. The hidden void still lies above the Grand Gallery, invisible behind massive blocks of limestone. No camera has entered it. No explorer has seen its walls. No one knows what lies inside that silent space. The Great Pyramid has stood on the Giza Plateau for nearly 4,500 years. Empires have risen and fallen around it. Civilizations have changed. Yet this ancient monument continues to guard its secrets. Perhaps the void is nothing more than an architectural feature, a space created by ancient engineers. Or perhaps it hides a chamber that has remained sealed since the time of Khufu. Until that mystery is solved, the pyramid will continue to watch silently over the desert, because sometimes the greatest secrets in history are not the ones we discover. They are the ones that remain hidden behind stone walls, waiting in the darkness.